With social media comes countless positives, however, for every positive there are negatives that closely follow. The nature of social media involves the sharing of individuals' ideas, thoughts and opinions, these which are either accepted with extreme approval and praise or severe disapproval and rejection, generally there being no in between. This is where the concept of cancel culture comes in. Cancel culture refers to the practice of withdrawing support for public figures and companies after they have said or done something considered to be offensive. However, it isn't limited to withdrawing support, and although some cases of individuals being cancelled are justifiable, most of the time they are not, as cases share parallels with the fundamentals of bullying and abuse. So ultimately, it is important that cancel culture is spoken about more frequently and it's made clear widely that ultimately it's cancel culture that needs to be cancelled. Generally, the issue is addressed by online media sources and news outlets from the perspective that cancel culture is problematic, immoral, and oftentimes becomes a bigger problem than it really should. Time Magazine, The Conversation, and GQ are just a few sources addressing the issue. For example, GQ started a discussion about the parallels cancel culture shares with bullying by asking, what happens when the discourse becomes one not focused on the larger issue, but one directed towards an individual? Additionally, The Conversation's research into cancel culture makes the nature of it easier to understand. As author Anjana Susala stated, content that sparks an intense emotional response, positive or negative, is more likely to go viral. This depicting how negative and controversial cancel culture cases are to continually be going viral. This is where Stuart Hall's model of encoding and decoding can be used to help understand how situations such as this can arise. Encoding looks at the aims and intentions of the dispatcher of information, while decoding looks at the aims and intentions of the audience on the receiving end and how they interpret the dispatcher's message. A multitude of factors such as age, culture views, and ideologies can impact the way one decodes a message and explains how easily the meaning intended by the producer and the meaning received by the audience can greatly vary, causing conflict to arise. In the presentation of this media issue, the impact that these words and acts of hate are having directly on the individual they are aimed at is significantly overlooked and not accounted for in the media. However, this is something that should be begun to be spoken about in relation to cancel culture so that before individuals go to speak words of hate, they can realise just how detrimental their words can be.